having a hard time thinking, can't keep things straight, memory's not so good. You're not the only one. And I'll tell you, it's from this pandemic. Stress is doing a workup on your brain. And let's talk about what you can do to turn it around. Hello. Let's talk about what's happening to our brains. Nothing nice. So we have been in this chronic stress state for a year now. It's been a year since yesterday that the pandemic started in New Orleans and hitting all areas of the country like nothing nice. And with that, a lot of changes for people at work, changes for people at school. All of these changes cause stress, usually what we would call distress, which is the kind of stress that we don't enjoy, that we're not looking forward to. It's not something pleasant that we signed on for. And unfortunately, when we've been doing that for a number of months, about 3 or 4, the brain starts to change and it actually shrinks. So it gets smaller in the areas that start controlling your cognition, allow you to gain new memories, have long-term memories, and really be able to control your emotions. So a lot of it is that prefrontal cortex. So it's that control part of your brain. While that's shrinking, the amygdala, which is the part of your brain that's all about the emotions, baby, and the lack of emotional regulation, that actually gets a little bigger. So we're all going around acting like teenagers because our brains are looking like that. They're really changing how they're structured. Now, fortunately, we found since I've been in medical school, back when we thought the brain was static, we've since realized the brain changes and grows, and we can make new neuro connections, and we have a lot of flexibility depending on our own actions. So that is where the hope lies. So what can we do? If we're stressed out, what do I do? Just tell me the answer. Okay, here's one. The old basics, exercise, get out there and move. When you start moving, your brain actually is able to lower the cortisol, which is that stress hormone, and it makes a substance called brain-derived neurotrophic factor that actually helps your brain heal and get into a place where it can restock the shelves and start feeling better. So exercise, even if it's just walking out to take the mail for the mailman, and then maybe the next day walk to the end of your driveway, maybe the next day to the block, maybe after that start walking several blocks. Wherever you are, just start. Okay. And if you have a certain exercise that you really enjoy, playing basketball like the pals, or running or dancing and jamming, then you can get into a state that we call flow, where your brain is able to feel like it's challenged to a certain point, but not to a point where it can't achieve things. And when your brain reaches that flow state, you actually get into this really cool state if we look at the waves of your brain. And that actually is at a state that you see in meditation as well. So meditation is another thing. So that heavy duty exercise to flow, or meditation itself, those are states that your brain gets into and it allows it to heal. And again, it's going to allow you to get back into a state where you're able to think clearly and take care of things and remember the grocery store list when you go and need to do it and you just thought of it 5 minutes before and you already forgotten it. Anyway, what's another thing? Your diet. Dudes, just eat more vegetables. I don't know what to tell you. Eat from the rainbow, not Skittles. Skittles are amazing. They taste great. Same with Lucky Charms, but those are not the things that have the vitamins. You want a rainbow of vegetables. The anti-inflammatory diet. We love that in integrative medicine. And there's a reason, because it's what your body needs to make the neurotransmitters to work right and to do all the other things right. With that, here in Louisiana, we're blessed with amazing seafood, and our seafood has a lot of omega-3s, which is another substance in your diet that's going to help your brain heal and help you function in a way that you can remember things and feel good. So go out there, eat that Louisiana seafood. Try not to eat it fried if you can help it, or air fry it if you must, just to have a healthier lifestyle. But any seafood at all, I'm a big fangirl of that. What else can we do? We can start sleeping better. A way to help with sleep, because a lot of people come to me about sleep, is making sure when you're going to exercise each day is to go outside in what we call circadian light. So that means from the time early in the morning when the sun is rising till about lunchtime, till about now-ish, is what we call circadian light. Now, being outside during that time period is going to give your brain the information it needs to know, hey, I need to be starting to make melatonin for later in the day when I need to go to sleep. And this cortisol that I made this morning, this stress hormone that tells me to be awake, maybe that needs to start going downward so that by the time it's time to sleep, it's not so high. So now if these things, the exercise, the mindfulness or prayer practice, if that's what is more in alignment with what you do, the diet, the sleep regulation, if those things still aren't working, then you might want to talk to someone like myself. There are supplements that we also use. There are specific supplements from the Ayurvedic medical system called adaptogens, which help your stress hormone axis, the HPA axis is what we call it for short, rebalance and get to a place where it's going to respond in a way that we need it to respond so that we can be activated for any type of stressors that are predictable during the day, but then calm down between stressors versus what happens with chronic stress where we kind of stay high to a point that maybe we're not so reactive and maybe feel like we don't have a lot of energy or feel like we can't sleep or a number of different things when that axis kind of gets out of sorts. So if you need help with that, reach out to me. I'm more than happy to talk to you about that all day because I love me some adaptogens. So you can reach me at my website, darawellnessnola.com. Follow me on Facebook, follow me on YouTube, press the little button so you know when I come on so we can talk about it. And yeah, we'll just keep going and keep talking about ways that we can feel better and get through this stress so our brains can stop shrinking and they can get back to normal and we can remember our grocery list. Louisiana seafood on the grocery list. Make sure you remember that, and vegetables. Okay? All right. Love you guys. Mwah.